Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to today's episode on the Town with Tanya. Today, we are going to dive into a powerful story from a leader in foster care and adoption community. Our guest is a clinical director, a founder of Celia Center, Inc., whose personal journey through foster care fuels her transformative work. As a clinical director at Yoffe, she's going to correct me on the right way to say it, Yoffe Therapy. She helps children, teens, and families navigate trauma. She's the creator of a one-woman show, What's Your Name? Who's Your Daddy? And author of the newly released book, The Traumatized and At-Risk Youth Toolbox. Today, we'll explore her impactful work and the challenges she's overcome to inspire change in the foster care system. Please help me welcome Jeanette Yoffe. Hey.
Hey, Tanya, thanks so much for having me today on your show.
Thank you.
Excited to be here with fellow foster youth. Yes.
Thank you. Yes.
We need each other.
That's right.
We're a community.
Right. Did I say their last name correct? That's first.
Yeah, so it's Yoffe. Yoffe.
Okay. All right. Oh,
Yoffe. Right.
Good. Yeah.
No E.
Right. At first, I thought the E, but then I heard you say it on something, and I was like, "Oh, I'm glad I looked at that." So thank you. I'm glad I got it correct.
Yeah, that's the American, but in Europe they would say Yoffe. In Europe.
Oh, I was going to say, where is it derived from? That's right, Yoffe.
Yeah. It's European, Eastern European.
Okay, that's it.
Eastern European. It's actually Jewish, and it means beautiful. Yoffe.
Oh, Yoffe.
And then when I created Yoffe Therapy, I was like, oh, we're doing beautiful therapy. That's exactly what I want.
Brilliant.
To be soothing and comforting as a therapist.
Brilliant. That's brilliant. I was going to ask you where that name came from. That is great. So you've been on a remarkable journey from being in foster care to now running Celia Center. Can you share with us your personal experience in foster care and what shaped your desire to help other people in your situation?
Totally. Thanks for asking, and all your listeners, thank you for listening, because it's so important for us to share our stories, and there's so many vulnerable pieces to our stories, and we're still trying to make sense of our stories. I'm still putting pieces of my puzzle together, learning about my birth mother's life. So I am originally from New York. I currently live in Los Angeles, and I came here for many reasons. But it all started, I'm from the 70s. I was raised in the foster care system in New York State. I was born in New York City. My birth mother was an immigrant from Argentina, and she came to New York City, yes, on a work visa to be a dancer. That was her, she was very creative. She was, there was an artist community in Buenos Aires, Argentina, where she's from, called Ditella, Ditella. And only the last 15 years did we learn that she is cited in 2 books from Argentina about her art, her dance, and her affiliation with this art community in Buenos Aires. So it's just incredible to learn how passionate she was and driven, that to leave her birth country and come to New York City all by herself, right? She was very brave. And I think her resiliency, so these questions, I mean, you and I talk for hours about the resiliency that foster youth have. I believe the apple far from the tree.
Give me 1 second. I don't know why it just started doing that. You heard it? Did you hear it?
I didn't hear that. That's weird.
Can you hear you're getting waggly, which we talked about earlier, and it was fine. So I don't know if I need to put a headset in or will that work? Yeah, it sounds weird. I don't know why. Let me see if it's me or you. It says my Wi-Fi is there. It's fine. It says it's fine. How's your Wi-Fi look? Are you putting in headphones? Let me see. Something's weird. Oh boy. Let me see. Let's check this out, guys. Give me a second. Sorry. Okay. Now, nope, that didn't help. Huh, that's really strange. That's really strange. Can you hear me?
But it's
You hear it? Is there any appliances connected anywhere? Televisions or anything on next to where you're sitting? No? Really weird. Remember I was saying that it just happens with StreamYard. You never know. So apologies, guys. We're trying to figure out what the technical issue is here. Because that's where we were just talking, had no problem. And then all of a sudden, okay, so yeah, so okay, try it again. What we might have to do is maybe we might have to have you go out and come back in again if it doesn't work. Try speaking.
Okay. So
Yeah, you hear that click? Something. It's something electronic, and I can't tell what it is on your side. It's like a feedback.
good. It's not the
No.
it's StreamYard.
What's your phone connected to?
iPhone.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. Whatever that's connected to. Ooh, see, it's a feedback. Yeah, it's a feedback. I don't know. How about this? Can you try going out and coming back? I'll wait here and you come back in and tell them about the book till you come back. All right, guys. So check out the book. Oh, she's coming right back. Okay, I'm going to show you her book. 1 second. Let me get it for you. Media. Banners. Let me see. Let me get the book and make sure you check out this book. It's called The Traumatized and At-Risk Youth. Okay. Okay. No, didn't go out. Okay. Nope. Okay, she's going to try. She's going to go out and come back again. I apologize. It happens sometimes on StreamYard. Still can't figure out why. Nobody can tell me why, and neither can they. But it does happen. But please, I promise you, it'll be worth it. You really have to. There we go. Let's see. Now?
No. Now it stopped.
That's so weird.
Now it stopped. Oh, no, there.
No, I hear it. Yeah, I hear it. It's something. I can't tell you what it is. Let me see. Because my end says everything's fine. Wi-Fi is great. Everything's great. So it's some electrical feedback going on. So either is there another cell phone by it, a computer that's on, or something's by it. No, nothing. That's so weird. Remember, I know it's not an iPhone, is it?
It's an iPhone.
It is an iPhone? Huh. That's really weird. Oh, I know. When you came in, did you come in through was it Safari or what's the other one?
What?
Did you come in? I just heard you. Say something again. Even though your camera went off. Can you hear me? Let's see, who knows? Hi, Anne-Marie. Hi. We're just waiting for my guests. We're having technical difficulties. I apologize. Hey, Carl. Let's see. Maybe this will work. Wait, where are you at? There. Hello? Okay, so I'll remove this one. Let's see. Remove that one. So, yeah. Try talking now. Let's see.
Talking now. Talking.
No.
Is that better?
I don't know. Not sure what it is. Oh, that's okay. Thank you, Anne-Marie, for coming and checking us out, Carl. Okay, try saying something. I can re-ask the question if you need me to. Yeah, sorry guys, I have no idea. We have no clue what. Carl, you're techie, aren't you? Why is there feedback coming up? We were doing fine when we were talking earlier, and then all of a sudden hers went into robot talk. Yeah? Okay. She's gonna go out and come back again because hi, you're welcome. Thank you, Anne-Marie. How are you? So yeah, guys, so we're talking about trauma in kids in foster care. Jeanette was about to explain her story of how she ended up where she was at, and her mom actually came here. So she's sharing her story right now. Okay. Oh, okay. Are you gonna try to log in? Okay, give her a second. And so in the meantime, so she's gonna share her story. You know, I had just asked her to share her brief history. I'm glad to hear that, Anne-Marie. So give her a second and she'll be right with us. We just didn't want you to have the, you know, that static sound because it drives people crazy. So that's why we're trying to get that together. Give us a second. And this is her book, in case you haven't seen it. Well, let me see, not there. Wait, where did I have it? Yeah, here it is. That's her book, The Traumatized At-Risk Youth Toolbox. Okay. She gives over 160 attached form interventions for working with kids and families in foster care and beyond. Every teacher, every social worker, anybody who works with kids, police officer, whoever, should probably get this book because it's going to help save or change your life. I always tell people you can never have too much information, but there can be a time that comes where you didn't have any information, and that will be the difference of what that kid or person does or doesn't do. So it's important. She's going to come back and join it. I think she's going to turn on her computer and try it that way, which is usually the better way that it works, unfortunately. So just give us time. But you guys check out the book. And while I'm at it, this is the book, The Traumatized at-Risk Youth Toolbox. Okay, lots of goodies in there, you want to definitely check it out. While I'm at it, there's another good book you want to check out since we're at trauma and we're at healing. So this one's about Denise's life. Out of Respect, get that book too on Amazon, or go to the website Out of Respect book, Out of Respect book.com, I think it is, and order the book. That's a good book about having a mom that was abusive, but a dad who stood by and did give her values in spite of all of it. So check that book out. It's like Bronx Tales meets Mommy Dearest, basically. That's pretty much what that book's about, and it's a very good one, by the way. And my friend Erica Simpson wrote one, This Is Your Mother. It's on Simon & Schuster. All right, so here we go. Enough of that plug-in. Let's see. Are you there?
Yes.
Yay! Yay! We're winning, guys. We are back, guys.
We're
We are back. Good. We're back. So we're ready for the guys. So I was where was I at? As someone
I was sharing.
Yes, I was saying your personal experience, foster care, and your mom is ballet and how she came here.
Yeah. Yes, so she came to the United States on a work visa to be a dancer.
Okay.
She did modern dance, and coming here, she was heavily involved with the New York arts community in New York City. And there was a big hub here. Like, I don't know if you've heard of a place called Max's Kansas City. Mm-hmm. It was where artists would go and write and meet and create together. So she was a part of that community. She met my birth father, and she got pregnant with me. And she was Roman Catholic. So she said, we need to get married. And, children can't have a baby out of wedlock. So they got married. And so I grew up. I was born on the Lower East Side of Manhattan. I lived with them for 15 months, the first 15 months of my life. And so what happened during that time was she became pregnant again with my full sibling. And so when I was probably 13 months. Her mother was very ill in Argentina. She was under a lot of stress. She wasn't working as a dancer. She was a mom, and now she's pregnant with her second child. So she was now experiencing a lot of psychosocial stressors, which contributes to mental health issues. And, the 70s mental health was not mattering like it does today. Even supporting a mother. My father worked full-time for New York City Telephone. She was pretty much on her own, figuring things out. Did not have family with her, alone, an immigrant in New York City. So, and she didn't speak very good English either. So she met this woman at the park. So I had reunion with her and my full sibling about 15 years ago. Well, actually no more than 15 years ago, 18 years ago. And what we learned from her was she met this woman at a park who said, you should get child care. Okay? Child care. She was stressed. She needs help. So I don't know how this happened. I don't know. There's mysteries. She looked up child care, and up came Jewish child care. Now, Jewish child care?
I was in one.
Okay. So you came through Jewish child care as well?
Louis Wise Services is a Jewish service.
Louis Wise. Yes. There was a lot of Jews wanted to do mitzvahs, help these children. There were a lot of kids entering the foster care system at that time. And so she goes to Jewish childcare, not understanding it's a foster care and adoption agency.
Mm.
And she says to them, please take care of my baby. That
Oh
was
my
me.
God. Mm.
But she's thinking, she told us she thought it was daycare. They would take care of me for a few weeks. She's from Argentina. She's in a completely new country. She'd only been here a year and a half.
Mm.
So they hear her and they see she's stressed and overwhelmed, and they say, of course, sure, we'll take your baby, right? That's the business of Jewish childcare. They had her sign some documents, which I'm still not sure were they relinquishment papers right then and there.
Pretty sure.
Yes. And so we had reunion with her, it was very, very hard to hear the story, because she looked at both of us, and my brother was there also, and she felt that we were kidnapped. Well, she felt like I was kidnapped. And
you were. Legally, you were.
Yes. Yes.
I'm just saying.
Right. And this is, unfortunately, adoption is a business and there's a lot of politics.
$1 billion business.
Right. The baby industry. So it's hard on us when we learn how our birth families were taken advantage of,
Yes.
were not given all the information. And have you heard of the baby scoop era, Tanya?
What is that? Wait, tell me what that is, because I probably
in
know
the
by that.
60s, there was a movement to adopt these babies that women were having out of wedlock. And they call it the baby scoop era, because adoption became an industry. And so women were sent to maternity homes, right? Because there wasn't protection at that time.
Right.
A woman could not get an abortion at that time. There wasn't even sex education at that time, right? I've talked to birth mothers from the 60s. They're like, no one talked to me about pregnancy. And
I'm one of those babies.
Yes.
And my brother, I'm still looking for him. He was one of those babies.
Wow, you are?
Still looking for him. He was adopted off like 10 miles from me. And I didn't know 10 miles at that time. When you're young, you don't know what that means. I was like, I could have not walked there, but I could have found a way to get there and get him. But what was I going to do? So still looking for him. He's 50-something years old now. Yeah.
Oh,
his name is Mark. Yeah. Been looking for him forever. But because he was red hair and freckles, I'm sure that's why he went quicker than most of the other kids. But I know a lot of information, more so than most people. So they must have changed his name and his date of birth. Because I have his date of birth too, and no, you're not supposed to have that, but I have it.
Was he born in New York?
He was, and he was born the same exact time as my cousin. That's how I know his exact birth date and time in the hospital.
Okay, so this is how I found my birth father. If you are born in the state of New York, New York City, they, in New York Public Library, there are birth index books. They're huge. And you can go. There, it's public information.
Okay.
Look up his date of birth.
Okay.
Do you know his first name?
Yes. But my friend who adopted told me she purposely changed her kid's name so that the parents could never find him.
Right, but this birth index will have his biological name. That's on his original birth certificate.
Okay. So then that's good. So then
you look up his name and then see. Well, it would say, is he your full sibling?
Same mother, different father.
Ah, right. It will show the birth father's maiden name and the mother's maiden name.
Well, she was married to my sister's dad, so we all got hit. Well, I don't have his last name on my birth records, which is why I think I didn't find my brother. I've been going by Tanya Cooper. That's not what's on my birth certificate.
Ah,
I found that out when I went to get my records from the agencies.
That's right.
So like, all this years I've been looking for he's looking for the wrong person. He ain't going to be looking for Tanya Cooper. That's why. So.
And this is another, and people call it a human rights issue for us. When we're adopted, we receive an amended birth certificate that
Mhm.
has our adoptive parents' names on it. So we're
Mhm.
not allowed to even know us, our birth names.
That's wrong.
It's
That's so
terrible.
wrong.
It's
It's
terrible.
so wrong. Unless it was a case, this is the only time I would say that would be okay. If it was a case where it was clear and evident, child X abuse, especially at a very young age, any kind of that is the only time I'd say all rights should be gone and taken away. No getting them back, no second chance at all, because it's never going to work out that way. Some people forgive, but even if I'm 5 years old and I've been tortured by a 40-year-old, I may forgive, but my body never going to forget. And I'm still going to always be traumatized somehow or some way. That's the only time I would say absolutely not. Absolutely not. But any other thing, even if the dad, was in for, murder 101, whatever, even that, I'd say, okay, well, did his 20 years, let him have his kids back. As long as he has not hurt the child. That's my stipulation is if they beat the child or, I'm talking about severe stuff and severe, there's no, I will never be the person to tell you, oh, forgive and forget. I'll never tell you that. Never. You may forgive in your heart, but I'll never say, yeah, just move on. No, absolutely not. But they are, how do you say this? A lot of adoptees are missing, even if they don't ever want to speak to the person again, you still want to know what do they look like? What do they look like? Let me see what they look like. Because I never knew who I looked like. I always thought I had a very rare face for an African-American woman. And I don't look like anybody. Like when I was skinnier, some people say Diana Ross eyes because my eyes are big and I was skinny, whatever. But that's about maybe a little reference, but I don't think I look like anyone at all. So when I met my family and my auntie, especially, who was 95, I just met her before the pandemic, by the way. My dad's last sister. Check it out. She's still alive. This woman's amazing. But I look like a dark-skinned version of her. And I was like, wow, I never saw anybody that looked like me. So that's why it's important. It's not so much because I'm going to just leave my family that raised me and did such a great job. If you did such a great job, I'm not leaving.
That's right.
There's no way I'm leaving that.
A new set of parents. We want, and I have a video on my YouTube channel. We want genetic mirroring.
Yes.
We want to know, where did I get my nose from? Or when I met my birth mother, she did this thing with her tongue, and I looked at her and I went, I do that too.
Oh, really?
It's like the little genetic traits that give us our identity and a sense of belonging and knowing where we come from. Because it is, the rug gets pulled out and then we're expected to just behave, get over it.
Yes. Especially if you're
to cry about.
Yes.
Right.
And especially if you're in a family that's, it's obvious that that's not your family. So if I'm making this up, but if I'm Asian and my mom's African-American, it's clear and evident that not always we could birth anything, but generally speaking, it's going to be like, wait a minute. So if I'm making you suppress who you really are, and not suppress like you don't ever mention that you're this or that, not that, but just subtle, like, okay, it's time to celebrate Kwanzaa and it's time to celebrate all my holidays, right? But I don't think of any of your traditional ones, and I don't let you know about any of yours. And when you celebrate them, I look at you like I look kind of side-eye. So that makes me feel bad, even though you didn't say it, but I feel bad. That's what I see going on with some of my friends who were adopted, especially my friends from Korea and other places, China, Russia. I feel bad for them, and they're so used to it now that they're not even seeing. I was like, that's another form of abuse, in my opinion, because for me to suppress who you are, even if you're just my friend, as my white friend, for you to suppress me and tell me I shouldn't talk about anything black and white that's not right, because that's my world I live in.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So whatever world you live in, you have to validate.
Right. It's your birthright.
Yeah, it is.
And an adopter wrote a book, Birthright, because of that. And she talks a lot about Jean Strauss. She talks a lot about the politics in adoption.
Yes.
There's a lot of politics. So we're talking about the mental health piece, right? The loss of genetic mirroring creates grief for us and identity challenges and not knowing who we are. And there's a phrase in our community, I don't know if you've heard this, Tanya, we're not adoptees, we're adaptees.
I like that.
Because we're always adapting to what everyone else wants, because we need people for survival.
Yes. You know where you see this a lot? also, I used to work in education, and you see that a lot in the schools. I feel so bad for some of my kids, and they're acting out. They have behavior problems. It's all these issues, and I keep saying to the principal, I know what the issue is. If you just let them know who they are, all this will go away. And he's like, what are you talking about? Look at this. This is this home. They're suppressed daily on a daily basis. So they're acting out by becoming a punk rocker because that will like shock the family and throw something in there, you know? But if you just say, it's okay that you came from here, and I'm going to tell you about where you came from, and I'm going to show you, you know, what your normal or traditional language is, your traditional food is. And then if you choose to do that, you can, but at least you know what it is, and you value it, and you respect it, and you honor it, because that's your tribe, no matter where it's from. That's your people, and those ancestors gave you something that you don't even know what you have. You can't find it.
Right.
You
Right.
can't find it. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. We're in the abyss of, well, who am I? I mean, we can make up something, but that's not fun.
Yeah, the abyss. That's the word. And we're just trying to land and find some grounding within ourselves.
Yes.
And that's where you see behavioral traits of ADHD. Like
Yes.
we're just jumping out of our skin, trying to figure out who we are, right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
adapting all the time. So it has its challenges, and
It does.
we do
It
have
does.
mental health. And I don't like the word issues. If you've
Right.
heard me talk, I talk in vulnerabilities. We have
Right.
vulnerabilities because of what happened to us.
Right.
Because I do a lot of education to parents, and you're not going to believe this. Parents still today don't even tell their children they were adopted.
I know. I think that's what happened to my brother, but it's obvious. If they try to tell him that, something's wrong with him if he even believes it, because he's so light. He's so light. And then his hair, unless some black kids, when they're born redhead, sometimes it turns brown. So that's possible it could turn brown. I don't know. But he would look like a Chris Brown today if he was as a man. If I had to guess, if I said, what does he look like as a baby? Chris Brown as a baby, if I had to give up a face. But the dad's a beautiful Nigerian black. Mom's like a Halle Berry with a tan, super tan, a little bit lighter than me though, but like that type of tribe. So between the two of them and looking at him, he knows
Right.
He knows there's no way. There's no way.
Yeah, and they're called late discovery adoptees, LDAs, when you
LDA.
find out later in life. And what happens is you then backtrack and question everything.
Yep. Daryl did it. Remember from Run DC?
That's right. He's an LDA. Yes.
Yeah. I spoke with him on a panel once. Yeah. He mentioned that. Yeah.
Yeah. You just question everything, and you actually, there's a part of you that knows you don't belong here, but nobody's affirming that feeling in your body. Right. Yeah, I read his memoir. It's fantastic.
Really? I didn't get to read the memoir, but yeah, he's a phenomenal.
And now he has a children's book called Daryl's Dream, which I read to kids.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It's really about confidence and being who you are meant to be. And just like we're talking, it's about identity. And if you feel good about something, even though your family, because you're adopted, doesn't really understand it, but it's something innate in you that you want to be, which is what happened for me. I wanted to do theater. And I did not know that my birth mother was a dancer. And anyone in my adoptive family, they were kind of confused by this.
Right.
Why does she want to? And I'm like, I don't know. I just want to be on stage and express myself. I needed that expression. The arts were very, very important to me.
That's so funny that's that you wanted to be in the very kind of industry your mom would have been in.
That's right. And I didn't know anything. So I felt just kind of what we're talking about. I felt like I wasn't groomed from my ancestors. Like those creativity, the talents that she had, nobody knew to groom that in me. And say your mother was a dancer, of course you want to dance. Like that validation. Because I always questioned myself. Why do I want to do this? Because people question me.
Right.
Why? Because I feel this in my body, right? This is genetics. It's genetics.
And I wonder, did she ever tell you if anybody else in her family was in the arts or danced or anything?
That's a good question.
Like what inspired her, maybe? Because I always say if we talk long enough, we'll find out the why.
That's
Because I like singing, but I found that there were other people in my family who like to sing, and some are even known in Louisiana and other places. So I was, and some, some are famous, some are known. So I was like, "What? Are you kidding?" So it's not me and my brother don't just sing because we were just liking to sing. It was just something I think goes way back.
Talent
Yeah.
that you came with, and then you're going to like that. This phrase is called "we receive an imposed identity," and I didn't coin that term. Susan Harris O'Connor is a transracial adoptee. She'd be great on your show too. And she talks about being Black, growing up in a white family.
Yes.
And she felt she couldn't be her Blackness because all she saw was white.
Right.
And she thought she was white.
Mm.
Kids actually believe this. My sister, who was adopted, she came to us when she was 6. She'd been in foster care for many years also. And she was in a Black foster family. True story. So she's adopted in her home. One night we're at dinner. And she says, "Mom, am I going to grow up and be Black?" She's white as white can be. And I'm like, "What? Mom, what does she think she's going to grow up and be Black?" And my mom had to pull me aside. And I was like 9. As well, she was raised in a Black family. And that's all that she saw reflected and mirrored back at her.
Now that's interesting. And that shows you how kids do not, they're not born racist. They learn that.
That's yes.
They learn that, because why would she ask that if it was innate?
As young as they say, as young as 2, kids know differences in race. They can tell. They're not dumb.
Yes.
Yeah, and they learn from their parents.
Yes, which is why it's important to put them around all kinds of people.
Yeah. So just to go back to the story part.
Yeah.
So she places me with Jewish childcare.
Okay.
My father was very upset by this because, of course, she didn't consult with him. She thought she was doing the right thing. Caused a lot of now more stress on the family dynamic. Having me in the system, I was raised in a family in Long Island, in Seaford, Seaford near Jones Beach.
Yeah, almost.
Okay, and nice Jewish family, right? Nice Jewish family. They were just fostering, though. They weren't meant. It wasn't adoption like it is today. Parents need to be certified to foster and adopt because we want children to have permanency and not be stuck in the system. Right. So they were actually trying to reunify us with an aunt and uncle in Buenos Aires, Argentina.
Wow.
So I actually went to Jewish childcare pre-COVID and had a sit down with the director of Jewish childcare. And I said, I want my paperwork. I was in foster care for 6.5 years. I want to know what happened. I'm still figuring out all the pieces. And the paperwork I received, it's stacks of letters and memos from New York consulate to the Argentinian consulate, trying to determine how to place me with the aunt and uncle in Argentina.
Because it's all about money, switching the money game.
I guess I don't know, right?
Oh, that's exactly what it is. Trust me.
Okay.
That's all it is. Because if you can't, because even I looked at my paperwork, you notice I don't know if you, I'm pretty sure you probably have codes as well on the paperwork. There's codes for everything. Entering when they came in, the dates. There's a code for everything. That's how they get paid. I learned the system very well. Trust me.
Okay.
That's all it was. They didn't know how to transfer it from Buenos Aires money to American money. That's what that's about.
I see.
Yeah.
And there was, if you know history, there was a lot going on in Buenos Aires at the time. Actually, women and children were being kidnapped.
Yes.
So they had decided to keep me in the country, in the United States. And then my brother entered the foster care system when he was 9 months old because my mother had mental health challenges. She had a manic episode. She was disoriented. She felt alone. So she goes to the hospital I was born at and says, I need help. And now they see this woman who's overwhelmed, stressed out, having an episode. they take my brother and place him with a family in the Bronx, and they hospitalize her at Bellevue. Bellevue was a psychiatric hospital at the time.
I know. I remember. I've had people there. I know.
And I even went to Bellevue to see if I could get her records, being her biological daughter and now having my birth certificate.
Okay.
But they didn't have anything, which I thought was.
You didn't have any records?
They didn't have any records, which I
Well,
thought.
that's interesting.
Yes,
Very interesting. I'll tell you off the record. I'll tell you later why that's interesting.
Yeah. Right. Again, just keep the secrets and the lies, right? There was a movie, Secrets and Lies, about adoption in London.
Yep.
And there's a lot of secrecy in adoption, unfortunately. And secrets are insidious. They are. They don't help people. They hurt people. And you and I are still living with what happened to us. It just doesn't go away.
Well, also we have to become like PIs all of a sudden.
Yeah,
we
exactly.
Investigators. It's like if you hire any former foster or adoptee, I guarantee you they probably could help you find the missing person, find whatever you lost aunt. I can help you find so much because that's the stuff I had to do to find. I found everybody, by the way. I'm lucky I found one cousin on Ancestry, and then I found a half cousin who happened to be a genealogist, and he connected me to everybody, people that even my family didn't know where they were. Yeah, so I'm lucky in my case, but a lot of us are not going to be that lucky. A lot of us are not that resourceful, and it's frustrating. It's frustrating to know that you come from somewhere and you got to figure it out.
That's right. That's right.
It's not fair. It's not fair.
It's not fair. And it's a lifelong questioning. Our question for identity is profound. It's profound. And so how did I cope with all of this? You know, growing up in foster care, I mean, I did 20,000 cartwheels in my front lawn. Like I was the kid who was just jumping out of my skin going, somebody help me. Because I was very anxious. My foster family told me when I entered foster care, I cried for 3 days. Just think of it, 15-month-old crying for 3 days. All that I knew was I was attached to my birth mother, my birth father. So
that's a loss.
Traumatizing.
Yeah.
Traumatizing.
And it's a loss, even though people say, "Oh, she's so young." No, remember the body keeps score. I believe that.
That's right.
You can forget all you want to forget, but your little self and your little, certain things in your spirit and the way you do things just does not forget and cannot forget. Right. It can move forward, but it can't forget. And that's what people do. They think, oh, well, you don't remember, you were a baby, or you were only like 7 or 6 when your mom did. How do you remember? I remember stuff from 4 years old that my grandmother had to verify with the agency because they thought I was making it up. That how does she remember the yellow curtains? You know why? Because I took a picture because it was going to be the last thing I ever see. So I remember more than most people remember because I knew that was the last time by what they said to me. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to remember my bunk beds, but I remember the bunk beds. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to remember the thing. I remember detailed things that most people would never remember, but I know. Why would I make them up? Like, I don't have time to sit around just making stuff up. Like, but my grandmother had to tell them, no, that really did happen. Oh yeah, no, that really did happen. And they were like, oh, it did? I was like, yeah, why do you think she would lie about that? Well, we just thought she was just, why would you think that? Well, some foster kids make up stories. Well, maybe they're making it up for a reason. Duh.
And it's the little crumbs that they remember that I was here. Yes. It helps the chronological story, especially kids who are in multiple placements. It's, I was there. I remember that. Yes. That confirms where I've come from. These little things mean a lot to us. All the details. Yes. I work with a lot of adoptive parents who, I help them tell their child their story of what happened, what was going on in their birth parents' lives at the time that they couldn't parent any baby born on your birthday, just to make sense. Because if no one's telling us our story, we're going to make it up.
Exactly. So that's the kids they're talking about, probably.
Yeah. So I told myself in foster care, my parents didn't want me. I was unlovable. I also have a birthmark on my leg. And I learned, kids like, yeah, you're born with your birthmarks. And it clicked for me. I went, oh, that's why, because I wasn't perfect. There was something wrong with me. See, that's why they didn't want me. I mean, this is what I told myself. I had
Right.
such low self-esteem of myself. I just thought I was the worst kid. Anything I did was bad. I had a lot of shame. And so one of my interventions in my book is called the shame witch. And it's a technique that I actually taught myself because of living with all the shame. And I'll just quickly explain it because anyone can use it. So you think of a sandwich. There's bread on the bottom. So this is the way you talk to yourself. When someone points out something wrong and you take it personally, you go, hold on. You go, let me do the shame witch to myself, right? Just because you made a mistake doesn't mean you're the mistake, right? What I'm teaching you is how to separate yourself from whatever is wrong or is a mistake without shaming and blaming yourself. So the bread on the bottom of your shame witch is your best friend inner voice. You're a good person. You're doing the best that you can. You're learning. It's okay to make mistakes, right? Then the turkey, lettuce, pickled tomato, whatever your favorite sandwich is all the stuff that we want to put emphasis on. This is what's wrong. And this is what I'm going to figure out and create a plan for. Or it's not that I'm stupid. It's math is complicated, right? This is hard. Don't be hard on myself about it. You're learning. It's okay to make mistakes. And then the bread on top, again, is affirming you're a good person. You're doing the best that you can. And not only are you doing this to yourself, you're having this inner dialogue, but with any child who's traumatized, if they're really hard on themselves, help them separate out. You are valuable. It's okay to make mistakes, and then help them shift with the shame witch. And this is what we're going to figure out together. We're going to work on this. You're not alone. I'm here to help and guide you. And we're going to figure this out because this is hard, right? We're going to figure out what's the best way for you to learn math because what we're doing isn't working, right? It's making you feel terrible about yourself, and that's not what we want. So I had a lot
I wish you were in my classroom when I was in math. Maybe I'd be a math whiz by now.
Yeah, right.
Not what I got. I didn't get that. I wish I would have got that. I got that in reading in English from Miss Finari's class. I got that with her, but there's a couple of math ones that was like not that. But
I mean, we all have our gifts and our challenges, but kids, especially, have gone through the foster care system. We're really hard on ourselves. We either can try to be perfectionists, or we're just so deeply, we feel so invaluable and so unworthy. And a lot of kids mask it. And like everything's okay, and they fawn. It's called fawning. I'm fine, everything's fine. I was one of those kids too. I'm going to show that I'm fine, but really inside, I'm a mess.
Right.
And I was that kid.
Yeah.
So,
wow. Well, how did you work through that though? Like what was your sparking moment?
So, well, I really needed therapy when I was a kid in foster care, but it wasn't best practice at the time. So then I then left this home that I was at for 6.5 years and went to another home to be adopted.
Oh,
that
really?
yes, at 7.5.
Wow, really?
Yes.
That's very interesting, but I'll explain that to you after we get off the air.
Yeah. And that became my second trauma after the first one. And that day I screamed bloody murder, and all the neighbors came out. Like, what's going on over there? Oh, she's leaving. All that she knows, this family I loved. Why is this happening? And why are you doing this to me? Now you're really reinforcing I'm not wanted. I'm not lovable. Even though I have an adoptive family that wants to adopt me, you're now reaffirming. So it's like my self-esteem got even more crushed.
Of course. You know, they were experimenting with kids around the time we were younger, that they were actually saying, let me take these 3 siblings, I'll put one over here, and I'll put one over here, and one over here. Let's see how they turn out. The one in the rich home, the poor home, and the one they never know about each other. Even there was a film about the triplets. Remember that?
3 identical strangers.
Yeah, but I suspect they did it to more than people that were twins and triplets.
Oh, yeah.
They used to come and visit my house and do those tests that I saw them doing in the film. I said,
Really, Tanya?
they used to come regularly. Yeah, they used to come and do that to me and my brother. And then they were like, how do you feel about your sister? Well, you took her from me. I don't know where she's at. How do you think I feel? Like, what do you think? How do you think I'm going to feel? Like, so why are you even asking me that question?
Like you're a mouse in a cage.
It was
doing
like
these
I was mouse in a cage.
experiments.
So yeah, but they sealed the records for 100 years.
That's
Now,
right.
why would you seal the records for 100 years?
Right. Talk about
Interesting.
the shame of the industry. They have a lot they're hiding.
Oh, well,
And
I'm about to do a documentary, so yeah,
great.
they'll be unhiding soon. Because it just has to stop at some point.
Exactly.
And I want to focus on getting to those parents who are addiction, who may have depression, who may have some homicidal, suicidal thoughts. I want to get to those people first before the kids get to the system, or at least figure out, can we clean these people up? Not clean like clean, but can we get these people's lives together? Is there any intervention that can be done so that they will not go to this foster place? Because that's not a good place at this point.
Right.
It's not a good place. I've got thousands of horror stories. Now there are some good ones, and I will say, is my life better or worse because I didn't stay in the orphanage? I'm sure it's better because I didn't stay in the orphanage. Even with my abuse, it still was better to be in an orphanage, because then I would have been abused by everybody all the time, every day, all day, forever, right? So, okay, fine. But that's not fair. I'm a human being, and I deserve to have a decent life, at least with no violations, at least, and with no mental, the basic human have to survive, have to live, have to learn how to eat and how to work, those basics. But now I'm talking about that. I shouldn't have to be thinking about, am I going to eat today? Or am I going to have a place to stay today? Or do I have to move tomorrow? Do I have to go here tomorrow? Do I have to go? I shouldn't have to think about that. And that is the parents' fault. That is totally the parents' fault. So I'm not blaming the system for that. What I'm blaming them for is that since they want to be mommy and daddy, you got to be full mommy and daddy now. Full mommy and daddy. That means you got to do all the modalities, not just one, or the one you want that's going to make you the most money off these kids. You see what I'm saying? Which is what's happening. They're making all this money and we're not seeing any results or any kids coming out super magnificent. They're always traumatized and somehow something's wrong. What are you taking the kids for if I can have the same situation at home?
Right. We need to help parents in our country. Parents, because there was a documentary which you actually may really love. It's called First Mothers in Recovery.
Wait, First Mothers in Recovery? I'm going to write it down first. Go ahead.
And wait, I think I'm this. It's okay. So this documentary followed 5 women in San Mateo County here in Northern California, where DCFS, Department of Children and Family Services, did not remove the children because they were in domestic violent relationship. One has addiction. Another one had mental health challenges. Another one was young. So they follow these women and they provide all the services, right? Mental health, teaching them how to make food for your child, how to find daycare for your child, how to pay your bills, how to get, experience in work, how to write your resume, giving them, meeting all of their needs, right? Tools, skill sets. And guess what? 3 of the women left the program with their children. It's such a moving film because you see when they are provided with the right resources and women are supported, they can be the mother to their child.
Absolutely.
They are mothers. They just need support. And that program, honestly, I wish we had it in every county in the country. If we really want to do this, it's a program like that. And I think that will inspire you. And the director of that movie is also a birth mother from the baby scoop era in the 60s. So they took her baby from her when she was in the maternity home. And so she's been instrumental. She has
got lots of those. That's I got to definitely see that because that's
someone listening knows.
Yes. Hi guys. I see you there. I know it's small. You can't see the little print there, but hi guys. We see you.
Thanks for being here. I think I see someone from Seaford. Yeah.
Yes. And I know somebody from Seaford. I just can't remember which one of my friends. Somebody from a long time ago. But yeah, guys.
Oh, it's
So
called On Life's Terms. That's right.
on life's terms. That's what's called.
On Life's Terms, Mothers in
Ooh,
Recovery.
that's a word we use in recovery. When I taught it when I was in addiction care. On life, live on life terms. Yeah, that's what we teach.
It's
Okay.
such a good film.
Okay.
And when I watched it, I
On
cried
life,
the
on
whole
life
time. I
terms.
said, why are we not doing this? What? Because it would eliminate the foster care system.
Yeah,
Well,
but
actually, there's
you know why you're not doing it. You know why they're not doing it. That's no money. If they don't have a money modality, they're not switching. When did they switch to Kindred Care? When they figured out the money. When they can't figure out the money and they're not going to be getting it, they ain't figuring out nothing. The kids are staying right here until we get this right. All of a sudden, Kindred Care, you have 530,000 kids in foster care. All of a sudden went down to 400 and something thousand.
It has gone down.
Allegedly. Yeah, allegedly. I
Kinship.
just think a lot of kids that are missing, but that's another story. We got 450,000 missing a year. I mean, sure, half of that's foster kids. So that's another story. But it's all money. It's all money game. That's why my friend, he has a thing called legally kidnapped. And that's exactly what it is. So it's legal, but that's really what it is. So you know how many women were told that, or how many kids were told your mother couldn't have you because there was too many kids in China and there was a quota, and that was a lie. But you don't know it. And even the adopted parents don't know some of the story. That's how deep it goes. Even they don't really know. No, this was not really your kid. This is a kid that they bought for $20,000. Like my friend was sold for $20,000.
South America, there's corruption.
Yes,
Babies
Russia too.
Yeah, it's very scary.
Yeah, I mean, think about how many people are thinking, "Oh, my mom didn't want me," and their mom really wanted them, but they got taken away under false pretenses. There's so many. And it's horrible that agencies play games and they should just say, when this person turns 18, it should be up to you to just go into the agency and they hand you that birth certificate if you want it.
That's right.
Period. Why should I have to go run and ask for this? Why should I? Because what?
Beg for your birth certificate. That's your human right to have that birth certificate. And, you're from New York. You can actually get your birth certificate now.
Okay.
It's an open state record.
Okay.
You can apply, go to Vital Statistics.
I have mine. Unfortunately, is not who I am. So anybody trying to find me, good luck. I'll never tell you my secrets. Yeah, I found out. I was like, oh, I'm not Tanya Cooper. Okay, so go figure. I like it that way because then if someone's trying to find me, they're never gonna find me.
Well, now you have your podcast.
Mark Cooper looking for me, or Mark Rochester. That's another story. Then you'll know something's different. But it's a joke, but it's serious. That sometimes it works in my favor. Now, when I went to go, the first time I went to go to Paris, I couldn't go because I couldn't get my birth certificate because I didn't know the name I was in. So I had to go to court twice. I went at 7 years old with my foster mom, my agency in New York City, the CAC, all the other people, whoever else had to, the hospital, everybody was there. And the Supreme Court changed my age and my name. They were supposed to change the birth record, but they didn't. Still to this day, they still made a mistake and didn't do it. So the guy died by now. And the judge asked me at 7 how old I want to be. I said, I want to be 9. He was like, well, you look tall enough. Okay, change your birthday to 1965. So I'm probably a couple of years younger, but I'm not going to argue over it now. My cousin and my aunt told me I'm definitely not the age that they say I'm definitely not, and they can prove it. But I just said, no, I want to retire early. Thank you. I'll take it. So it's working in my favor.
Okay. Yeah, there's advantages there.
Yeah, I look good for my age. I mean, come on, I'll take it.
But your birth date is real, just the year.
No, the birthday and the date, the February 9th is right. The year. Okay. Even on the original birth certificate, it's the old blurry type. The smudged. It got smudged, the ink. Oh. So it says 60s, but we don't know 68, 66, 69, nobody knows. And the hospital came to the court and they were like, we don't really know because he was like, wait, if you don't know, how we don't know? So he put the gavel down. He said, how old would you like to be? Because I'm going to solve this problem right now. And that's how I got my age that I am now. So it is what it is. And they still didn't change my name. If I go look for my birth certificate right now and go get a copy, It says something. I won't say what it was in case anybody's looking for me that I don't like. It says something that's not what Tanya Cooper. Put it that way. You won't find me. I don't exist. But they did give me my passport with all the court documents, because I had to have, luckily I saved them with all the court documents. They did my passport in my name that you hear now. But if I go look for my birth certificate, it will not be in that.
Oh, okay.
That's how backwards. That's how backwards.
A unique story. I have not heard that. Thank you.
It's a weird story. I'd love to know. As a matter of fact, my brother, did he get his birth certificate? I don't know. I got to look in my box. I might have. No, I don't think I got his, because I don't know if his, I want to see if his says boy on it or if it says his name. I'd like to know that, because my mom left the hospital as soon as she had me, which is good, because then I didn't get all them shots. So it's great. I'm happy. But there's some advantage to that, because now I'm looking back, I'm like, wait a minute, all those babies that were, I'm so glad. She was a very smart woman. She literally left as soon as she had me, literally. So that's why I didn't have a name. Yeah, my grandpa named me after the fact. Yeah. So in a way, it's in a weird way, it's so good. I'm so glad she did that.
Okay.
But she probably didn't want them to know I was an addict baby. So that's probably why she left early too. Maybe that's why, I think. But either way, it worked out. I'm fine now. It kept me from addiction. So it's
great.
A win. Yeah, it's a win.
Yes. Yes.
So what was I going to say? Let's see. Oh, so here, I'm sorry, I sidetracked it for a moment there. As someone who specialized in treating kids and teens with histories of abuse and neglect, what are the most common misconceptions people have about foster care and adoption?
Well, there's a negative stigma for kids that they're acting out because they want attention. Okay.
Yes.
That's the first misperception. No, these kids do not, they act out because they need attention. And what gets repressed must be expressed. It has to, and it's going to show up in this actually maladaptive behavior and behavior that's undesirable, because kids don't know any other way to cope until someone teaches them how to cope. And that's what my book teaches, coping skills to children, especially the vulnerable kids in foster care and any child who's been traumatized, teaching them how to cope with grief. That adoption is formed through loss. Foster care is also formed through loss. And we feel rejected. That's another core issue. There's loss, there's abandonment, there's rejection, and we're stuffing it inside our little souls.
Yes.
We're angry, we're confused. So the behavior, I also say that confused kids are going to do confusing things. Like step back and go, okay, I'm going to see this child for their behavior and see if I can make sense of what they're communicating. Because all behavior is a form of communication of an unmet need. We need to sit with kids. We need to look at their histories. And we need to understand why they're behaving the way they're behaving.
The psychosocial is everything.
That's right. What happened to them? And kids absorb trauma through the senses, the five senses, and it also can get released through the five senses. So misperception is the behavior piece. Like, I'll tell you a little story of my behavior as a kid. I wrote my name with crayons on my foster home's floor. Okay. I knew I wasn't going to stay there. There was because I had interviews with other families. I knew that, wait, you're kind of like auditioning me out. Okay, I guess I'm not. But I wrote my name really big on my floor.
Right.
I got in trouble.
Right.
Okay? She didn't step back, and she wasn't trauma informed. She wasn't attachment informed. She didn't have a class like I train parents in going, wow, what is she really communicating here? What was I communicating? I don't want to leave. I'm marking my territory. I belong here.
Right.
And so we need the confusing behavior. We do need to what's called be an owl, observe, watch, and listen.
Mm-hmm.
Be curious about what is driving this behavior. Another phrase I use a lot is what's hysterical right now.
Right.
We need to recognize is historical. It has
Mm-hmm.
to do with something in the past. And parents need to be investigators, feeling detectives, I'll call them.
Yeah.
You need to read your child's signals and their cues. And if the behavior is confusing, that's time to do some research as a
They're clever.
parent. What are they really trying to tell me? And
Yes.
put yourself in their shoes. So because kids act out because they don't know any other way until someone shows them the way. And one of my interventions is the anger bag, because
Yes.
a lot of the kids that I worked with bang their heads against the wall, were aggressive with other kids because they
Mm.
were it's an attempt, an external attempt to
Mm.
relieve themselves of the internal
Mm.
attempt. The
That's so crazy.
the pain, anger
Mm.
is the easiest emotion to have,
Mm.
and it's easier to project it on other people because then other people have feelings. I don't have to feel, and actually the person feels a sense of relief when, oh, now you're upset. I don't have to be upset now. Right? It's it's the way our brains work. But
Right.
with kids, but that's not going to help that child. So we
Yeah.
want to teach them. Of course, you have a right to be angry. Look at what happened to you. And we're going to teach you what to do with your anger, how to express it out in a safe, healthy way, which is
Mm.
a form of management, self-care management. And that's why this book, I wrote it from my heart. It
Mm.
teaches kids coping skills. It helps them feel safe in their bodies,
Mm.
regulate their nervous systems, because these kids are running around, especially if they've had physical abuse, sexual abuse,
Yes.
have their nervous systems are on overdrive because they're attempting to protect themselves. They're hyper vigilant all the time because they're expecting that danger to happen
Yes.
again. So we
Yes.
want to teach them how to calm their bodies, build coping skills. Then you can begin to talk about the trauma. So I have a
Right.
lot of interventions for parents, social workers, therapists to do.
Okay.
But you have to go through this step-by-step plan that I've created
Mhm.
to help these kids feel their bodies instead of running away from their bodies, which is
Exactly.
what they're doing. I'm trying to run away from this feeling. It's so
Yes.
intense.
Yes.
And so
As I used to tell clients, sometimes you have to learn to sit in your own stuff.
that's right.
And so this is just the child version of that, because even my grandson's young, but I try to, if he doesn't get angry often, but if he did, I would, instead of getting mad, I'd be like, oh, so what are you upset about? Why don't we sit down and talk about it, or you can go and think about it. If you want to sit by yourself, I'll let you sit by yourself and think about it. Then you can tell me why. So that I'm trying to create something where he understands, yeah, I am ticked off, but why am I ticked off? Like,
Right. Self-reflection.
yeah,
So important.
yeah,
And that therapy is important.
mhm,
All kids, especially in foster care, need a
yes.
therapist.
Oh
And
God,
so
yes.
I just made it my life's work because I entered therapy at the age of 13
Mhm.
because we had a foster child who came into our home.
Mhm.
And this is when all my mental health challenges just hit the fan because
Right.
she was reunified with her birth mother. And
Uh,
that became another
Triggered.
questioning me.
Mhm.
Well, where's my mother?
Right.
I must really not be lovable because
Right.
now I'm getting affirmed again. Even
Right.
mothers come back for their kids.
Right. Oh,
I've been
I
here,
was devastated when I learned that.
right?
I was traumatized. I was like, wait, what?
Traumatized. Yeah, and like no one thought, how is this going to impact the other children in your home? No one explained any of that. And
Yes.
I attempted to end my life. I did.
Oh,
I
I'm
attempted to end
sorry.
my
Yeah, I
life.
tried that. It didn't work for me.
Yeah, right.
So I
Because
decided
you
at
feel
15, it's never
helpless.
going to work. Yeah.
Yeah, hopeless, powerless. So thank God I entered
Mhm.
therapy at the age of 13,
Okay.
and therapy saved my life. So you asked earlier, how did I cope? Therapy, the expressive arts, and I wrote a lot of poetry. I
Yes, I was
just
going to get
put
into that.
feelings in, and I would also do art I was good in a way to not judge myself. I wasn't an artist. Like I can't, but I would say, you know what? I'm just going to put red on here because that's how I feel. I'm going to put blue on here, or I'm going to draw the 3 mothers that I had.
Right.
Just to get it out of me. And that's
Right.
really the therapy that I do, is
Mm.
expressive arts, helping kids release the pain, the trauma, the memories, the sensations, externalize it out of them.
Mhm.
Whether it's
Mm.
having your anger bag, having a question box, all the things that happen to you. You have a right to have answers to
Yeah.
those questions. So, as you can see, I'm just very passionate, and
Mm.
really kids need the right treatment. So I'm really excited about this work. And it's
Yep.
been 20 years of all the things I've done with kids.
Mm.
And even, like I said, the shame witch, I use that on me as an adult because
Right.
I realized, oh, I'm still dealing with being hard on myself because of
Yes.
what happened to me.
Yes.
There was
Yeah.
another quick story I was going to say. Oh, yeah. So one of my interventions that I did want to share with you today, it's
Mhm.
called the self-forgiveness pool.
Okay.
Self-forgiveness pool.
I like that.
I created this.
Mm.
I thought, oh my gosh, this is what my father needs,
Mm.
because he was the one who actually signed the relinquishment papers, and he had so much guilt not being able to parent my brother and I.
Mm.
But I also was very hard on myself. So the self-forgiveness pool is, you get 3 rocks and you write a strength on each rock of you, a strength that you have.
Mm.
And then you put them in a bowl, and then you put water in the bowl, warm water, about halfway. You need dissolving rice paper,
Mhm.
and you write on the paper
Mm.
something you want to forgive yourself for.
Mm.
I'm so sorry, or have empathy for yourself. I'm so sorry. You're so hard on yourself.
Mm.
You're a good person. And then you write it, you say it out loud, because what's shareable becomes more bearable.
Mhm.
You can do this in a therapy session. You do this with a friend. I did it with the women's group.
Mhm.
And you then put that self-forgiveness that you've written down into the water.
Mm.
Take a moment, you take a deep breath, and you watch
Mm.
that what you wrote dissipate in the water, dissolve, and
Mhm.
you are left with your strengths.
Mm.
You are left with your strengths. And so we do this repeatedly until you feel that you've purged, right? Whatever
Mm.
you can't forgive yourself about.
Mm.
We need self-compassion. We all
Yes.
make mistakes. We're
Yes.
all imperfect, and
Mhm.
that's okay. Just because you're a therapist doesn't mean you know everything. I don't know everything. I'm learning every
Yeah.
day. And
Yeah.
and so that was another tool that, wow, I realized there are things I need to forgive myself for. And I wish I could give this tool to my birth father.
Mm.
He's holding so much guilt
Mm.
about not being able to parent us. And it stunted his development. He didn't get married again. He didn't have any more children. He won't even have reunion with us because
Oh.
he's still stuck in his trauma and pain and
Okay.
hasn't forgiven himself.
Yeah,
So,
that's hard.
and listen, parents make mistakes. I'm a mother. It's parenting is the hardest job. It's the
Yes, it is.
hardest job. And
Yes.
a lot of families don't have the support.
Nope.
They live in poverty. They don't have the resources. They don't even have mental health centers in their neighborhoods.
Nope. And try doing it alone.
And
Mhm.
financial stress. So,
It's a lot.
really, our country needs more investment in parents.
Mm-mm.
And I don't know if you've seen the new series, Adolescence.
Oh, I was going to look at that. Is it good?
So good. And it's
Okay, I'll look at it.
exactly what we're talking about.
Okay, I'll look at
What
that.
children need. And that boy
Mm.
suffered. He
Mm.
he suffered with his own aggression. But I'm not going to tell you what happens.
Tell me what happens because I want to say it now. I keep going to it and then I keep going to something else and something keeps calling me because I don't watch television. But that every time I turn it on to go turn on the music, that pops up.
Educational. It's educational, and it hits you because you realize the whole world is in a state of mental health crisis.
Right now, yeah.
Every person.
We're going to be traumatized within the next 3 years. We'll be super traumatized. I mean, if you're not already, don't worry, you will be.
Right.
It will be. Trust me. You'll need a therapist. Make sure you have. Well, it's hard to get a therapist, as I'm sure you know these days, unless you have really good insurance or lots of cash. It's very hard.
That's right.
So I tell people, if you like, I know about Blackbird Project. This girl, she does. They do free like mental health stuff for people. There's a way to reach them via online, but that's the only one I know about. I don't know too many other places. It's like $600 an hour, please. It's like, okay.
I know some rates are absolutely unimaginable.
Yeah, I was like, you really care about me? All right. Yeah, it's crazy, but I mean, I know people got to make their money, but to me, it's like you don't get in the field unless you're really, that's something you really want to do, is change lives.
That's right.
That's it.
Yes.
Yeah, so
and that bridges to why I started Celia Center. So when just being in therapy since the age of 13, I really learned, this is what being like, I knew what a therapist was, and I sat on couches for hours. But I still wanted to be an actress. So I did a lot of theater in New York City.
I was going to ask you about that next. I was going to
And then that's when I wrote. I didn't realize I could write about my story. So then I wrote a one-woman play, and I was like,
about to ask you
a one-woman show.
What's your name? Who's your daddy?
Yes. What's your name? Who's your daddy? And it is on Audible now. You can listen to it, and it's like you can hear all the sound cues and the kids, and I do different voices of different family members, and that was a blast. I loved it, and I felt like every time I went on stage, I felt like there were the ghosts of the 500,000 children, because I was one of them, and I get to tell my story, and there's 500,000 other stories, and I represent my own story, right?
Yeah, I heard it brings a unique perspective to conversations in foster care. What inspired you to turn that personal story into performance?
Yes, so I was in a theater company, and they inspired the actors to write. And I was like, I could write something. Okay, so I wrote a little piece about a little girl. She's 7.5, who auditions for a family. And you don't realize, she comes out, you think she's a little girl, I don't know, a regular audition. She does her dance, she does her bit, right? And then the auditioner asks me odd questions. He's like, okay, what kind of foods do you like to eat? All right. I'm like, I like spaghetti, but I don't like the sauce. But then I say this, I go, but if they really want me to eat the sauce, I'll eat it. Like, I'm so desperate to get the part. And as he asked me more questions, we realize I'm not auditioning for a part. I'm auditioning for the role of daughter. This is my adoption.
That is so deep.
Audition. I know, it brings tears to my.
That is so deep. That is so deep.
And there's a moment in there where I'm so desperate, and I go on this monologue, like, I know I can be a really good daughter because I know how to cut my own hair. I know how to tie my own shoes. I mean, you just see this little girl so desperate to want to be loved. And that became, for me, wait, is that kind of what I'm doing in being an actress? And then I started speaking with social workers, and I love children. And I said, I think I want to work with children who are in foster care, because I know this experience, and I love children, and I want to help, because it shocked me that there were 500,000 children in the foster care system. And then once I realized in LA County,
you guys have a lot.
We are the hugest child welfare system.
I know.
And that blew my mind. And then I went, I'm doing this. So I went back to school, got my clinical psychology degree, and I just been blazing a trail here ever since. And so then Celia Center, Celia is my birth mother's name. And therapy can be, financially stressful. I mean, it's a service, right? I do have sliding scales. I do take some insurance, and it's how I make a living. So
Right.
I realized that not everyone can afford mental health care. So
Yeah.
Celia Center, we created support groups that are free for
Mm.
adult adoptees, adoptive parents. We even
Mm.
had birth parent support groups.
Mm.
And we did one really special group called the Adoption Constellation, which
Mm.
is the term. Triad is not politically correct anymore. The adoption triad, that's the adoptee, birth parent, and adoptive parent. And because
Okay.
it shows equal parts. There's not equal parts here. The constellation
Mm.
is the term which includes all those connected by foster care and adoption. That would be the
Mm.
birth parent, extended family members, foster parents, adoptees, foster youth alumni, social workers, therapists. We want to include all of these people so we have and do what's best practice in adoption.
Mm.
So
Mm.
doing this support group here, which I did for 10 years, was incredibly moving for people. It was free.
Is that the one you saw on one of your pages where they were doing? Let me see if I can remember what they were
The
talking
Adopt
about.
Salon, we call it the Adopt Salon.
Is that what it was? Okay, it was really brilliant. Brilliant.
Yeah, we bring adoptive parents, foster parents, adult adoptees, and birth parents all together in a circle because I was like, and I ran this group, I said, I want to break the negative stigma. Like, not all birth mothers are drug addicts, people.
Right.
Like,
Right.
and you're going to see a birth mother and adoptive mom or father and look at them and go, oh, okay, my whole viewpoint was birth mothers, this negative stigma.
Well,
So
that's
break
for
walls down.
that's because the kids that they took at the time were from like inner city areas of Brooklyn and Bronx and wherever at that time.
Addiction
It
is
changed. It changed when they realized they can also take Caucasian babies as well. That's when that changed. So that's why it's not. That's where the stereotype comes from because that is who they used to get very easy, especially out of Jim Crow. It's easy to come in my house and say, "You don't have enough food. Take the kids." You know what I'm saying? Oh, your kids ain't going to school? Take the kids, right? But they're not going to come in my suburb and tell any of my suburban neighbors that they're going to take their kid because they didn't make school 5 days. They're not going to do that. You see? That's why the stereotype came in.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. So this group became a community here. And then Celia Center, I decided to create a nonprofit. And I wanted to name it after my birth mother because, as I said earlier, she had unmet mental health needs. She needed a group of women to talk to. She didn't get what she needed. So Celia Center, we have free support groups. We do arts festivals. We're planning to do an arts festival. We want to do it in New York City next year.
Nice.
Very excited about that. And it's just expressive arts, helping adoptees, foster youth express themselves, learn new ways of coping with the expressive arts. And then we have conferences, mental health trainings, and we train social workers, therapists. And
that's fabulous.
So it's just been a mission.
That is great.
It all kind of just came together. And here I am. And so thanks for having me.
No, that is fantastic. With over 20 years experience, right? 20 years experience. What's the most significant change you've witnessed in the foster care and adoption community during your whole career?
Well, there are less kids in the foster care system. Here in LA County, too. There were 36,000 when we started working, and now it's 21,000.
Now, does that include kinship care?
Yes, it includes kinship care.
Okay, so you know what I mean by that, because if they say 450,000, you know what I mean? The number game is very interesting. They'll say 450,000 kids are in care, but now it's down to 400,000 because those other whatever thousand, they're with families, so they don't consider them in care anymore.
That's right.
But they're getting a check, so they are still in care.
For LA County, they have what's called data sheets every month, and it's the breakdown of children in the system by race, by age, and by placement. And so they include kinship care in that data sheet. So there are less kids. And I think what also is we're growing up, and there are more adoption and adoptee competent therapists now. There are more of us speaking and sharing our stories. There are more memoirs. There are more movements in adoption. There's more movement in opening records across the country. We're
Yes.
now in California working on that currently to open records here,
Good.
and the community of those that are fighting for open records are saying that if California opens records, all the other states will follow suit, and we'll be an open records country instead of sealing,
Right.
keeping our information a secret from
Yeah,
us.
especially now with the new laws that know, you know, what are allowed. There are going to be a lot of people just having babies, and those babies are automatically going into foster care because they don't have means, which is why they want to privatize foster care, because now guess what? We get those kids. And if we get those kids, good luck is all I can tell you. Good luck. We don't, when they're privatized foster care, that's going to be very scary. I can tell you that right now. Very scary. So if you have kids out there, if anybody listening, if you're on drugs, if you're not on drugs, if you have a financial problem or a mental problem, get help now, because you do not want to have your kids in privatized care. Trust me.
No. And can I say something? I want to give a big shout out. There is an organization called Save Our Sisters.
Oh, save our sisters. Let me
Save
write.
Our Sisters.
Save
Help
our.
Save Our Sisters.
Uh-huh.
Who helps women who are debating whether they want to place their child for adoption, and they actually help them make the right decision to parent their baby. They meet the mother's needs, which could be, you know, helping her financially, helping her with housing, helping her with childcare so she can work.
Right.
So it's a wonderful organization that is helping mothers be the mothers they're meant to be and remain their children. But they're one organization, right? We need one in every county, like I said earlier, doing this on the ground. So if you're inspired, as you hear, like Tanya, you have this platform, you bring awareness. You know, I said, I'm going to do something. I'm going to be a therapist. I'm going to write a treatment manual. I'm going to run a group. Like, do it. If you're inspired, do it, because people will come.
Right. Exactly. That's, you know, sharing your story to me in whatever format you find suitable, whether it's singing music and writing songs about it, whether it's making documentaries, which I'm going to make a documentary actually about, whatever your medium is, it's okay. It's fine. We just need more voices, and we need authentic voices, you know, not third-hand stories, people that actually lived it, that know it. I think tell the best stories because they know it. They've lived it. So I appreciate you and the work you do. It's so important. When I worked with kids, I had a nonprofit for 12 years, helping foster youth, give them scholarships, mentoring, gift boxes when they're in college. And I can tell you that you can't tell me that foster youth are not bright, that they're not this and not that. The reason why only 3% or less even get to college, much less graduate, is because they don't have the support. And I think my agency proved that, because most of my kids graduated, some even with as doctors, you know what I'm saying, masters and, you know, BAs or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Most of my kids that went in, they always finished because they had the support.
That's right. Right. And so you can get CASA, that's a court-appointed special advocate, and you can work one-on-one with a child, and that's a volunteer position. You know, help out if you know there's a foster home in your neighborhood, provide, you know, and you love working with kids or babysitting, provide some respite care, because it's hard on foster parents too. They need a lot of support.
Yes.
And I'm a big advocate for open adoption, and something that I've done with kids is called open foster care, which means they get to see foster families that they still love, are grieving the loss of, and I am still in touch with my foster family.
See, that's awesome. That's amazing, because I've heard so many stuff, people being ripped away from people that really love them and were good, and they can't figure out why. Nobody can figure out why.
Exactly. And when we let them know that you were loved, you are loved, and you continue to be loved.
Yes, exactly. Well, can you share a memorable success story from your work with Yoffe Therapy? Something that really like stands out, where you saw a child or a teen overcome like incredible odds.
Yeah. So I worked with one youth who'd been in 4 foster homes,
Mm-hmm.
and she had experienced physical abuse, neglect,
Mm.
and she struggled really hard in school. She went to her 4th foster home.
Mm.
I then became her therapist,
Mm.
and she struggled with ADHD. She struggled with attachment challenges. She grieved every night for her birth mother because she remembered having visits with her in foster care.
Mm.
So here was this child who came with all of this grief, loss, multiple placements. So I started working with her.
Mhm.
And what was most important for me was helping the parents understand why she was behaving the way she was behaving. And
Mm.
as I provided the sad bag, her grief lessened, right? Then, as we helped her understand why she was jumping out of her skin, that she has ways of coping, she learned how to calm her stress system down.
Mm.
I mean, it took years. I
Mm.
worked with this girl for 12 years.
Mm.
Um, we searched for her birth mother, and I told the parents we need to find her birth mother. We found her birth mother. I
Mm.
convinced the parents she needs to see her mother again.
Mhm.
She had reunion with her. They're
Mhm.
now in open adoption. Her grief subsided because now she got to be with her birth mother again. She wasn't confused.
Mhm.
She was very clear in understanding why she couldn't live with them, why she was adopted.
Right.
And she was the other case where she had reunion with one of her previous foster homes.
Mm.
Her behavior, it was like everything subsided. She was able to feel better in her skin, her
Mhm.
self-esteem and confidence raised. She began to have dreams and goals and wishes for herself because she was always focused on the past. Well, now she says, well, now that I know what happened to me, now I can be in my present mind and create my future. And
Yes.
and so for her, it was such a shift. And she began to self-actualize. Well, guess what? She's now in her first semester in college. She's
Nice.
on the dorms. And
Mm.
looking back at her, you would not think that this child would be where she is today.
That's amazing.
Because of
That's
all the
amazing.
challenges, she feels connected. She knows where she belongs. She feels
Yes.
good, and now she's self-actualizing.
Yes.
And the parents really had to shift. I had to sit with the parents and go, I know this is going to be hard for you, but we need to find her birth mother. I know.
Mm.
And I had to work with them in helping ease their anxieties about that because they thought, oh, if she finds her birth mother, she's just going to want to go live with her again. I said, that's not going to happen.
Mm.
She's been with you all her life, but she needs this for her self-esteem to help
Right.
her grief, her loss, her
Right.
identity. So she was a success story, and I worked with her for 12 years. And then
Mhm.
I actually want to write another book of all the stories
Mm.
that
Of the success.
of success and
Mm.
how we've helped children manage these stressors that they're holding on to in their little bodies,
Mm.
um, and just how they've come through their
Right.
experiences. And that's really what my goal is, to help them cope. We can't, like you said, we're not going to forget,
No.
never forget, but we
Yes.
will self-forgive.
Mhm.
We will learn how to manage our emotions, and we're already resilient. I mean, you and
Yeah.
I are resilient, but it takes work. I tell people it takes work.
Yep.
You can't expect things to just,
Yep.
therapy takes time. It's a process. Allow
Yeah.
the process, and
Absolutely.
it's okay to be in your feelings.
Yes.
You're not going to get suffocated by them. At first, it's going to feel really intense, but then it's
Right.
going to feel really good.
Yes.
You're going to just catch yourself from the fall. I mean, the
Yes.
fall, like
Yeah.
you were saying, it's the abyss of feelings that feels so overwhelming. But once you can get your grounding in there,
Yes.
with a therapist, And it doesn't mean you have to go to therapy for years. I am an adoption competent therapist, foster care competent. You need to find the competent therapist who understands adoption and foster care.
Right.
Because
Yes,
not all
absolutely.
therapists do.
Yes. And that'll be a whole nother level, because it took me 30 years of therapy to finally get to the right one.
Exactly.
But then I minored in psychology, so it worked out for me. But
Yeah.
but you could be going in circles forever if someone doesn't understand where to pinpoint, because then you can't make a proper treatment plan if you're just all over the place, So
Therapists don't even ask, oh, were you adopted? They don't even ask. So and then they don't know what to do with that.
No,
They don't understand. So I have developed an adoption competency training
good for you.
for anyone who wants to take it, so that they can learn how we need a different approach.
Yes,
to
definitely.
mental health. There's many layers to us. So yeah.
Many. Well, thank you. That's wow.
Thank you.
There are many layers to us, and I'm glad someone recognized that. Maybe it'll become a thing, and people will catch on and start offering new ways, because we need it badly. I see so many people who are adults now, and I was like, if they just had the right therapist.
That's
because adding not having the right therapist, and you don't know who your family is because you can't find your birth certificate is double trauma. Like, it's double.
That's right.
It's like people don't understand. You do need to know where you come from, even if you don't ever speak to them again. I personally think as soon as someone's child comes into care, there should be a picture of both parents. There should be a partial, at least a paragraph story or something. And it should be attached to the record so that it is in there. There's no hiding it. That way, sometimes the kids be like, I don't even need to go find them, because they know what they look like. That's all we want to know is, where is my tribe? What do I look like? Where did I get this mole from? Where did I get this?
That's right.
That's it. Or, some people want to go
deep. We're not a mystery to ourselves.
Exactly. Exactly. And it's okay. It's just, it's frustrating for people if you don't know who you are.
Frustrating. And when you see your friends who look like their families, what happens for us is we start grieving. Again, we're reminded of the loss.
Yes.
And it's just so hard. We're like, again, now I'm feeling my loss again. I just wanted to have a good time at this picnic.
Right.
Oh, wow, you and your mother look so much alike. Now I'm thinking about, where's my mother?
Right. I could have passed plenty of my family all the time. They were so near, and I would have never known.
Right.
Kind of sucks. My brother too. That's why I won't date anybody, African American with red hair, because I'm like, it could be my brother. I don't know, because he's in his 50s. So how would I know? Right.
Oh, I really hope you find him, Tanya.
I hope so. I two shows. The show I saw that you were on a show. Is it Help Me Find My Lost Family? Find My Lost Family. Find My Lost Family. Did I see you?
Oh, Long Lost Family. Yes.
Yeah.
I was on that show.
Yeah, I had two shows court me about, we can help you find your brother. We can help you find your brother. They got me. They did they checked out the DNA thing, and for 5 months, and then they said, we changed our mind. It was almost as if they found him and they know he's not alive. That's kind of what it was like. They said, no. They had an intern tell me too. And I was like, now, why would they have an intern tell me that after 5 months? That's the weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life. So I don't know what happened, but two of them, we can do it. Fine. And you have a birthday? Oh, easy, blah, blah, blah. Nothing. I had two angel, what do you call them on Facebook? The angels that help you find their family.
Yes.
Nope, nobody else. Nobody. So far, nobody. And I had heard in a group that I thought he would be in if he was in the town he lived in Elmsford, New York. I said, let me check the old schools, because somebody might have heard of these two black doctors adopting a young boy. That's a very weird thing, right? Well, come to find out, there was 3 or 4 people in the group said, oh yeah, we knew a Mark that was adopted. And he was licensed with red hair and freckles, and he had a little sister and a mom and dad. The dad looked Nigerian, and everything that I said. And said, but unfortunately, the kids went out to California and they got kidnapped and never heard from them again. I was like, what? So that was weird. So I don't know. Twice I heard that. So now I'm like, oh God, I hope that's not him. But I'm gonna keep hope alive. That at least I'll know something.
Yeah. And have you done genetic testing?
I did that. I did all that. I can't find nothing. Trust me. I would have never put my thing in the database, but I did it because I'll do anything to find them, and nothing. Not even a ping. Usually you get a ping on everyone else. My grandfather, I found my great-great-grandparents, 4th great-grand. I found everybody under about 8,000 people, but I did not find him.
Wow.
And there's no way you can tell me he has no kids. Like, really? And if he doesn't have kids, that would mean that maybe he did die young. That's what that would mean to me, but I don't know. We'll find out. I just tried. Someone came looking for my brother that passed away, our brother, same mom, when he was 16 in a group home. That's what they do, when you get in trouble in foster care, and it's because of them, they send you away. So they sent him to a group home, and it was there that a boy named Mark, light skin, red hair, and freckles, came to the door and asked the counselor, "Is Rob here, Robert Cooper?" And he said, "Oh." He said he's just at the school trip. They'll be back about an hour. He said, "I can't wait that long." Tell him. He said, "What's your name?" He said, "My name is Mark, but he's not going to remember me." He said, "I'll be back. I live down the street. I'll be back." And he never came back, so we don't know if that was him. He said, "Oh yeah, he was light skin with freckles and red hair." And I asked the counselor about it, like 15, about I don't know, I want to say 15 years ago, a while ago, when I went and got my records. And the person actually, he was there the longest. I think they've changed everything now. The modalities all changed, but he was the last one to retire. And he said, "Oh yeah, there was somebody that came, but that's so long ago. Like nobody can follow up on that." So that was my biggest lead.
Mm-hmm.
But it's okay.
Please keep hope alive. And you're doing your show. Someone could be watching.
Well,
so Mark,
here's
Mark. What's his birth date? Do you have that?
October 11th, 1971. He was born a month before we went to foster care. Isn't that crazy? Yeah. So we took care of him, literally, from the day he got home. Yep. So yeah, I got my records and stuff too. So I have stuff that I got everything. I just need to find him.
Yes.
But I don't. I guess it wasn't meant to be. It is. I won't give up trying.
No.
Every day I make a post, or every week I send something to TikTok. Where I think
oh, something's breaking up.
Happened here. That was ours. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, we're getting real late there. Jeanette, let's see.
Okay, I'm still here.
Questions. I know this is longer because it took us longer to start, guys. Sorry about that. I'm going to tell her to go out and come back. And if anything happens, we'll have to end the show. Hopefully not, guys. Make sure you're going to get this book. Where's it at? Where's the?
Oh, I'll show it.
All right.
Traumatized
It is
Youth Toolbox. There it is, the Traumatized and At-Risk Youth Toolbox. Oh, is Tanya here? Where'd she go? Thanks for listening, everybody. I don't know what happened to Tanya. We're still live. If anybody wants to ask a question who's watching, you can put it in the chat because I can see the chat. What happened to Tanya? I don't think her internet was working. If you want to learn more about adoption, this is another book, 7 Core Issues in Adoption and Permanency. It's a very important book. I'm actually reading, this is The Boy Who Was Raised as a Dog, about children and child welfare. And a boy was actually raised by a dog, unfortunately, as a dog. And Bruce Perry is a well-known trauma specialist in our country, shares a lot of his stories of working with children who've been traumatized. So, well, I think that's it for today. So thank you everyone for being here and listening. And I hope to see you soon. And if you have any questions, you can email me. My website is JeanetteYoffe.com. That's where you can reach me. All right. Take care, everyone. Bye for now.
Hello. I'm sorry about that, guys. I don't know what happened. It's saying Wi-Fi, but I see all the things, so I think it's StreamYard because it has happened before. So I apologize. And I lost my guest. Let's see if this her. Let's see if she'll come back. That's really weird. So I apologize about that. Oh man. I'm so sorry. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to find another platform because this has happened before and it's very frustrating. So I apologize to you. I had a few more questions for Denise. Wow. We didn't even get to her YouTube channel. Oh, man. And all of her body of work. So many more questions I have. But she's very inspiring. Man. Jeanette Yoffe. Her journey is like such a testament to resilience, passion, and the transformative power of understanding and compassion. You know, all the work she does at Celia Center, to her contribution, she making a very lasting impact in the lives of many people. A parent, or simply someone um, looking to learn more about foster care and you gotta read StreamYard because my cell phone's working, so I will find out. But thank you.